Hi there, it's Asia with a new video where I selected the most difficult IELTS speaking part 1 questions that students reported in recent exams. You'll hear questions, sample answers, and learn some useful vocabulary to improve your answers. There is also a PDF guide with IELTS writing and speaking topics from recent exams for you to download. Okay, let's get started. Our first topic is flowers. And the first question is, do you like receiving flowers as a gift? I could say, oh yes, I love fresh flowers, as you've probably noticed. A nice bouquet makes me smile every time I look at it. Luckily, my husband often buys me flowers. And if it's time to film some videos and there are no flowers, I buy them myself. So, the vocabulary. You can talk about a bouquet of flowers. And please note there is no T sound, it's a French word. A bouquet. Next. What kinds of flowers do you like? To be honest, I can't think of any flowers I don't like. I would say peonies and tulips are amongst my favorites, and perhaps I'm not as keen on roses as some people. To be keen on something is to like something very much. In IELTS speaking, a lot of questions are about your likes and dislikes, so it's handy to know a few alternatives to I like and I don't like, and you can learn them in this video here. I'll link it in the description. The next question is, on what occasions do people give flowers in your country? I guess on most special occasions, such as birthdays and weddings, and also on certain holidays. I would say St. Valentine's Day and International Women's Day, the 8th of March, are the two most popular. So that's my answer. And it's funny that in the UK, International Women's Day is all about gender equality and equal pay. And in the former USSR countries, it's more about restaurants and flowers. So the culture is quite different. Do you celebrate this day in your country? In any case, let's go back to the questions. Have you given flowers to someone recently? Just a few days ago, actually. My mom had an anniversary, and because of all this pandemic, I couldn't go and see her. I wanted to surprise her, and so I ordered a big bunch of peonies to be delivered to her in the morning. If you pay a florist and they deliver flowers, you order flowers. And you can order flowers to be delivered. It's a passive voice. You don't really know who delivered these flowers. So the flowers are delivered, or we order flowers to be delivered. The next topic is smiles. Do people in your country often smile? Thinking about it, I'd say people in Kazakhstan don't smile that often. Definitely not as often as in the UK, particularly in official situations. For example, when you go through the border control at the airport, no one will ever smile at you. Know the preposition to smile at somebody. There is a different phrase, to smile to yourself. I've nailed the job interview, she thought and smiled to herself. Next. In what situations do people usually smile? Well, all people smile when they are happy or amused. That's universal. They may also smile to make someone feel welcome. For instance, good salespeople usually greet customers with a smile. And in some cultures, people smile just because they want to be polite when talking to others. Okay, the vocabulary. To be amused is to be entertained or to think about something funny. And to greet with a smile is a good collocation or a combination of words which are often used together. And IELTS examiners check if you know collocations. The next question is, who smiles more, men or women? I would say, I'm not sure this is something that's determined by one's gender. I'd rather say it depends on one's personality. Some people have a more cheerful disposition and always have a smile on their face, while others are more serious or reserved. I think in IELTS, you still occasionally get questions about comparing men and women. But when you say that all men are like that and all women are like this, it's called gender stereotyping. So try to avoid it. And when you talk, try to include both men and women. For instance, the word police officer is preferable to a policeman, which implies that it's a man. Similarly, a sportsperson includes both men and women, while a sportsman doesn't. You see what I mean? So here are some words for you. A disposition is your character. One may have a cheerful or a nervous disposition. And a great idiom you could use is to have a smile on your face. He always has a smile on his face. And you say that someone is reserved if he or she tries not to show emotions or share opinions. In this video, I'm showing you my sample answers, but you should practice giving your own. And if you'd like to get feedback from a teacher, a great place to do that is Cambly, the sponsor of today's video. This is an online learning platform where you can practice your English with native speaking teachers at any time that suits you. With Cambly, you can choose a teacher you like, or book lessons with different teachers and get used to a variety of accents. You can suggest a topic for your lesson, or take IELTS speaking lessons, or even a mock speaking test. Lessons start from just 15 minutes a day, twice a week, and you can take them at any time of the day or night if you wish. At the moment, you can take one 10-minute class for free. And if you like it, subscribe using the link in the description to get an extra discount. You save the most if you take a 12-month plan. And if you change your mind, you can cancel your subscription and get a refund. I encourage you to take the free lesson while it's available. All the links are in the video description box below. The next topic is traveling by car. Do you like traveling by car? I could say, sure, I love the comfort and flexibility of a private vehicle. Having said that, I wouldn't drive to central London because of traffic congestion and extortionate parking fees. You can refer to a car as a private vehicle. And if there are a lot of cars on the roads, you can talk about traffic congestion. Extortionate means too high, unreasonably high. Indeed, a couple of weeks ago, I went to an area in central London where I had to pay £6 per hour to park the car. So the parking fees are extortionate. Next, where do you prefer to sit? In the front or in the back of the car? I prefer the driver's seat, but if it's already taken, I still like sitting up front. I find that the view from the back seat is usually more restricted, especially if the windows are tinted. When you're talking about your car and car seats, say in the front seat. If you say in front without an article, in front of the car, it means that you're outside of the car looking at it. A view can be restricted if you can't see much, or unrestricted if you have a better view. And when windows of a car are darkened, they are tinted. Some people love tinted windows, but I'm not one of them. And you may think why I'm giving you these very specific words. Well, if you're able to describe detail, you show the examiner that you know topic-specific vocabulary, and your vocabulary is wide, so it helps you to achieve a higher lexical resource score. The next question is, what is the furthest you have traveled by car? And before answering this question, let's have a look at the adjective. Furthest. We can say far, further, furthest, or far, farther, farthest. When you're talking about distances or time, it doesn't matter which ones you use. Further and furthest are perhaps more common. But when you mean extra or additional, you can only use further. Any further questions? So, what is the furthest you have traveled by car? Last year, we went on a road trip around Europe, driving across France, Italy, and Switzerland. We covered about 2,000 kilometers in 3 weeks. It was amazing and quite exhausting. You can say a 3-week trip. And here you don't need an S, but you need a hyphen. That's because the words 3-week together serve as an adjective. A long trip or a 3-week trip. But if you say we traveled for 3 weeks, then you add an S. And if something is exhausting, it makes you feel very tired. The next topic is a barbecue. And there are 2 ways to spell this word, in full or as an abbreviation. Both are correct. You can also use it as a verb to barbecue. So, do you often have barbecues? I'm not sure I've ever had a barbecue myself. I loved barbecues as a child, and I still do. But I now live in a flat, and we share a garden with neighbors. As far as I know, we're not allowed to make barbecues there. Next, what kinds of foods do you like to barbecue? The word foods as plural means different kinds of food. I wouldn't say no to a good steak or marinated chicken. I also love barbecued vegetables like corn, tomatoes, and onions. In short, I'm not fussy. Whenever someone invites me for a barbecue, I'm happy to oblige. When someone is fussy, they care a lot about having something exactly as they want. He's so fussy about the house. You can also use it to talk about someone's eating habits. I'm a fussy eater. It means that there are a lot of things I don't eat, which is true. And if you say, I'm not fussy, it means that you are happy with whatever you are offered. What should we have for dinner? Anything you want. I'm not fussy. To oblige means to help somebody by doing what they ask. For example, call me if you need any help. I'm happy to oblige. Next, what is the best place for a barbecue? I suppose for people who own a house, it's their back garden. Some parks provide great facilities too, but you still need to drive there, carrying the barbecue and coal and food in the boot of your car. A boot is a space at the back of your car. In America, it's called a trunk. Okay, we've discussed 4 topics today. I have other videos where you can find sample answers and vocabulary for other difficult topics. And all the questions from this video and many more are available in our PDF guide with recent IELTS writing and speaking topics on our Telegram channel. The link to download it is right under the video. Thank you so much for watching me today. Good luck with your preparation and your exam. Bye!